This is a 2-mark question asked in GATE 2021 of electronics. This is from control subjects and from state space analysis topic. The given question is the electrical system shown in the figure converts input source current IST to output voltage V naught of T. The current ILT in the inductor and voltage VCT across capacitor are taken as state variables, both assumed to be initially equals to 0. That is, IL of 0 equal to 0 and VC of 0 equals to 0. The system is, if you see the options, so completely state controllable as well as completely observable. Complete state control but not observable. Okay, if you see all the options, so they're asking us regarding the observability and controllability. Okay, so the summary of the question is, so we have one input called IST, we have one output called V naught of T, and the initial current of inductor is given as 0 amperes, initial voltage of capacitor given 0, and the state variable in this representation is taken to be inductor current ILT and capacitor voltage VC of T. And we are supposed to find the controllability and observability. Okay, so for controllability, observability, what we used to do? So there are other methods, but one of the simplest method is we used to find a matrix called QC, and we used to evaluate its determinant, right? So the QC matrix is given by B and AB. So we used to find this, okay, and then we used to find what is the determinant of this QC, okay. If this determinant happens to be 0, then we say it is uncontrollable, and if this determinant is not equals to 0, we say this is controllable. Similarly, we used to find the observability matrix, so which is given by C and CA, and again we used to find its determinant, that is determinant of this matrix, and again as usual, if this determinant equal to 0, we say it is unobservable. If this determinant is not equals to 0, so this is observable. So the ultimate thing is we have to find the determinant of this QC and Q naught, and again to find this we need this A matrix, B matrix and C matrix. So the main thing that is left is to find this A matrix, B matrix and C matrix. Well, the standard format of state space representations, you know, x dot t is equals to A xt plus B ut, and y of t is equals to C into x of t plus du, but d is generally taken to be 0. Okay, so this is the standard model of the state space equations. Okay, so this x is representing the state variables. It can be column vectors. U indicates inputs and y indicates outputs. Okay, so now in this case, the states variable, it is supposed to be inductor current ILT and capacitor voltage VCT. So basically now we are supposed to write the equations. It should be something like this. So how to represent IL dot T, okay, and how to represent VC dot T. Okay, so this is what we will find it out now. Okay, so in terms of what you have to represent this IL dot T like function of ILT plus function of what VCT plus function of the input which is IS of T. Similarly, VCT also you have to write this way. So from there we can extract what is A matrix and B matrix, and to get the C matrix, Y of T, which is V naught T in this case, output is that telling V naught of T. Now how does this V naught of T is related to function of inductor current ILT plus function of VCT, right? So we have to get these three equations, and that will give us the ABC matrix. We'll be substituting it here and we'll again find this determinants. Okay, now if this current is IST, okay, if I say this current is IR of T, so you can see here, so this current will be again IS of T. I hope you agree, because whatever current is coming, it is getting divided and again they are summing up, so this current will be IS of T. So okay, so this current is how much if I ask you? So this current is capacitor currents. Capacitor current is C into dV by dt. So this will be dVCT divided by dt. And if I ask you what is this current? So if this is V naught T, then this branch voltage is also V naught of T, right? This branch voltage is also V naught of T. So this current is voltage by resistance. So V naught by 1. So that equals to V naught of T itself. So if I am writing the KCL equation at this node, the equation what we will get is the incoming current Is of T is equals to sum of outgoing currents. So this current is dvct by dt plus this current is V naught of t. This current is V naught of t. But one thing you can see here, if this is VCT, so this and this voltage will be same because they are in parallel. So V naught of t is also equivalent to Vc of t. V naught of t is also equivalent to Vc of t. Okay, so this is what your IST expressions. So we can write this as V naught of t is equivalent to Vc of t because both of them are identical. So now if you try to, rearrange these equations, how it should be. So this is IST is equals to Vc dot t plus Vct. So this implies Vc dot t is equals to, we can write this as 0 into IL of t plus 1 into Vc of t plus 1 into Is of t, right? So if I make this Vct itself, if I am bringing this to this side, so this is how much you will get? I think you will get minus Vc of t, sorry. This is minus Vc of t, then you have plus Is of t and 0 into ILT, because as I said, we expect the capacitor voltage Vc dot t, okay, it should be function of ILT, function of VCT and IST. So we got VCT term, we got IST terms, because we are not getting anything from this, so I am writing it is 0. So this is one equations, okay, and the next equation would be something like this. In S-domain format, if I write the case, like current division rule at this node, what you will get? So by current division rule, I can tell IL of S is equals to, that is the inductor current is equals to net current, that is Is of S, into its opposite branch impedance, that is 1, divided by sum of both of them. So this will be S plus 1, because in S domain, so this will be S into L. So L is 1, so S into 1 is S. So you can see this current is equals to, net current is this, into opposite arm is 1, divided by sum of this. So this is what you will get. Now if we simplify this, S into IL of S plus IL of S is equals to Is of S, right? So if you multiply this side, S into IL of S plus IL of S is equals to Is of S. So if I ask you to take the corresponding inverse Laplace, so you will get this is dilt by dt. In other words, Laplace transform this function is S into IL of S. So this having inverse Laplace this much plus IL of t is equals to Is of t, is equals to Is of t. So this is equivalent to IL dot t is equals to minus of ILT plus Is of t. IL dot t equal to like this. So if you rewrite these equations, we can say IL dot t is equals to minus of ILT, that is minus 1 into ILT minus ILT plus, because there is no Vc term, so I can write this as 0 into Vct, and again we have plus 1 into Is of t, 1 into Is of t. So this two set of equations we can write in the terms of a matrix, something like this. This is IL dot t, this is Vc dot t, so this is a column vectors. We can write this as minus 1, 0, this coefficient is 0, this is minus 1, so this is multiplied by what? ILT and VCT plus 1 IST, 1 Is of t, right? So if you see, so these two equations, it will look like this if you are writing in matrix forms. Or if I ask you to what is IL dot t, so this and this if I multiply, that is minus ILT, okay, plus 0 VCT plus Is of t. Similarly, what is this? So this 0 into ILT plus minus 1 into VCT. So you are getting these terms plus Is of t. So the matrix representation of these two equations is something like this. So from this what I can see is, I got the A matrix. My A matrix is minus 1, 0, 0 and minus 1. I got my B matrix as well. So B matrix is 1 and 1. And what else I need? I need the C matrix. So what will be C matrix now? C matrix, okay, in C matrix case, we are expecting B naught of T as a function of VCT and ILT. So B naught of T itself is VCT. So I can write as V naught of T is equals to 0 into ILT plus 0 into ILT plus what? 1 into VCT, because V naught T is equals to VCT. This is what we are observing from the circuit, because both of them are in parallel. So V naught T is equals to VCT. So we can write this as V naught T is equals to 0 into ILT plus 1 into VCT. So if you compare this with Y equal to Cx equations, we can write this as, so the matrix appearance of this equation, what you can see is V naught of T is equals to, this is 0 and this is 1, and this is what? IL of T, and this is Vc of T. Okay, so this is what is the two set of equations. Okay, so this is equivalent to Y equal to Cx, and this is equivalent to x dot is equals to Ax plus Bu. So by comparison we got A matrix, okay, by comparison we got B matrix, and by comparison we are getting C matrix, which is 0 and 1, and that's what our main accepting. I got A, I got B, I got C matrix. Now the last thing that we are left is to evaluate this matrix QC and Q naught and to find their corresponding determinants. What will be AB? A is minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1. This is A matrix, and B matrix is 1 into 1. So I am evaluating what is AB. Okay, A multiplied by B, A matrix multiplied by B matrix. So if you are finding this, how much will you get? Minus 1 into 1 is minus 1, plus 0 into 1 is 0. Next you have 0 into 1 is 0, plus minus 1 into 1 is minus of 1. So you are getting this as how much? Minus 1, and this is also minus 1. As expected, if this is 2 cross 2 matrix, this is 2 cross 1 matrix, the product should be what? 2 cross 1 matrix, 2 rows, 1 columns. Minus 1 into 1 is minus 1, okay, again here minus 1 into 1 is minus 1. So we are getting AB matrix, which is minus 1 and minus 1. Next thing I need is CA matrix, CA. So C matrix, so I am finding CA. C we got, this is 0 and 1, and A we are getting minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1. So if I ask you to find the products, so 0 into 1, 0 into minus 1 is 0, then 1 into 0 is also 0. And then what you will get, again if you multiply this with this, 0 into 0 is 0, 1 into minus 1 is minus of 1. So this is your CA matrix. So as expected, if this is 1 cross 2, this is 2 cross 2, so this will be 1 cross 2 matrix, which is happening. So what is QC? QC is BAB. So B matrix is what? B matrix is 1 1. So in place of B, I am writing it is 1 1. Then I have AB. So what is AB? AB is this one, which is minus 1 and minus 1. Minus 1 and minus 1. Okay. Similarly, what is observability matrix? Observability matrix is C. What is C we got? C we got to be how much? 0 1. And next we have to have CA. CA we are getting it is 0 and minus 1. So what is this determinant then? QC determinant is minus 1 into 1 is minus 1. Okay. Minus of product of these two, again minus 1. So minus 1 plus 1. So this is 0. If this is 0, so this implies this is uncontrollable. This is uncontrollable. And if you find it here, so what is this Q naught determinant? So minus 1 into 0 is 0, minus 1 into 0 is 0. So this is also equal to 0. So this implies, so this is unobservable. Unobservable. So based on the data given, we are concluding that the system is uncontrollable and this is also unobservable, right? So if you see the option, so this is what is given in one of the options, and that would be the corresponding right answers. So this is okay. I have again taken all these steps in between, so I have taken around 15 minutes of time, but if you solve in proper flow, so it will take hardly 5 minutes. Okay, but this is the complete in detail solution of this problem. This is one more question asked in GATE 2021 of electronics. This is from control systems and from block diagram or signal flow graph related topic. The given question is, the block diagram of a feedback control system is shown in the figure. The transfer function y of s by x of s of the system is. So some options are given. So it's a very simple block diagram they have given, and we are supposed to find the transfer functions y of s by x of s. Obviously, you can go through block diagram algebra, but in such kind of cases, it is wise to go through signal flow graph by converting this into signal flow graph. In fact, I don't think it is needed to redraw its equivalent signal flow graph because the block diagram is not so complicated. Directly, we can write the corresponding transfer functions. So, if I ask you how many forward paths are there from input to outputs, you can see one of the forward paths is this one, Z1, right? So, to reach from input to output, this is one of the paths. And one more path can be like this. So you can come like this, this and this. And you cannot come this way because the arrow is this direction. So you have to move in the direction of the arrow only. So obviously there are only two paths. One is this path and one is this path. So there are two forward paths, right? Having gain how much? Z2 and gain G1. And how many loops are there? So this is only one loop. And the loop gain is minus of G1 into H. This cannot be a loop because so if you move like this, so the arrow is in this direction. So this cannot be a loop. So there are two forward paths. The paths are P1, let's say it is G1, and P2, let's say it is G2. And you have only one loop, and the loop gain is coming minus of G1H. This is the loop. And this is not a loop because there are only one loop. So there is no concept of non-touching, touching. We don't have to get involved into that business. Okay. And you can see this loop, okay, this loop is related to path P1 and P2. In other words, this loop is touching to the path P1 and P2. So what I'll get path P1, okay. So P1 is how much? G1, and this is 1 minus 0 because there is nothing something like that which is nothing this, right? So this is G1 into 1 minus 0 plus then you have G2 into it is again 1 minus 0 divided by this is 1, okay, then opposite sign of the loop gain. So loop gain is this one, so plus opposite sign of this. So this is minus of G1 of H. If you take the opposite sign, this will be G1 of H. So the final answer is G1 plus G2 divided by 1 plus G1 of H. So this is the transfer function y of S by x of s. Very, very straightforward problems. If there could have been some non-touching loops, then those corresponding term would have been come instead of 0. But in this case, a very simple block diagram. So again, I am telling this is one forward path G1 plus this one forward path G2, and there is only one loop. So loop gain is minus of G1 into H. So it is 1 plus opposite sign of the loop gain. So 1 plus opposite sign of this is G1 of H. So the final answer is G1 plus G2 divided by 1 plus G1H. That's what given in one of the options. This question is asked in GATE 2021 of electronics. This is one more questions from control systems and based on the Nyquist plot concepts. The given question is, the complete Nyquist plot of the open loop transfer function GSHS of a feedback control system is shown in the figure. If GSHS has 1, 0 in right half of S plane, the number of poles that the closed loop system will have in the right half of S plane is. The options are 0, 1, 4, 3. So it's a very good question actually. What is given is GSHS, which is the open loop transfer function, has 1, 0 on right half of S plane. And we are supposed to find the number of closed loop poles on right half of S plane. So for your reference, I have just written the closed loop stability criteria and the principal argument and some conditions. So closed loop stability says if n is number of encirclement about minus 1 plus j0 critical points, P if it indicates number of open loop poles in the right half of S plane, and if Z indicates number of closed loop poles in right half of S plane, then N is equals to P minus Z. What is this N? n is the number of encirclement about minus 1 plus j0. Now what happens is, usually while dealing with the Nyquist stability, we used to select a Nyquist contour, that is the entire right half of S-plane. So entire right half S-plane is taken as the Nyquist contour. So the contour can be taken in two directions. You can take in clockwise directions and you can take in anti-clockwise directions. Unless until not specified, by default in all the textbooks, and we always by default takes the Nyquist contour taken in the clockwise directions. If Nyquist contour is taken in clockwise directions, while computing the number of encirclements, for anti-clockwise contour you should take positive, for clockwise you should take negative. But if it will be reversed, if you take this is anti-clockwise in the this one, then this will become negative and this become positive. We'll see about this in detail. I'll explain you. Then the principle of argument says, if the open loop transfer function contains p number of poles and z number of 0, then the Nyquist plot will encircle the origin n in p minus z number of times in the anti-clockwise directions. Okay, now let's come to the questions. The question says, what is the number of closed loop poles? So based on the closed loop system stability, this is the equations we need. We need the number of closed loop poles. Number of closed loop poles is nothing but z. So if n equals to p minus z, then what is your z? So your z will be nothing but your p minus n. Now what is this p and what is this n? What is this p and what is this n? So p is nothing but number of open loop poles in right half of S-plane. But in the questions, they are telling 1, 0 in right half of S-plane. So the information regarding poles is not given. But to give the final answer, we need that. But can I tell n? Yes, we can tell n. How to tell n? So n is nothing but number of encirclement about minus 1 plus j0. So this is the critical point, minus 1 plus j0. Okay, so you can find the number of encirclements. So you can draw a line like this. Now if you see, this line is cutting this contour twice. One is in anti-clockwise directions, one is in clockwise directions. So by default, again I am assuming the contour is taken in clockwise directions. So for anti-clockwise I will count it is plus 1, and for clockwise I will count it is minus 1. So the net encirclement is 0. If this could have been plus 2, this could have been 1, I would have written it is 1. If this could have been 100, this could have been 70, I would have written it is 30. So because plus minus 1, so the net encirclement is 0. So I already know the value of n, which is coming 0. So this is 0. Then I have to just find p. What is this p? P is the number of open loop poles in the right half of S-plane. But this information is not given in the questions. For that purpose, I will be using this information, which will give us some information regarding the open loop system. So this says, if open loop transfer function contains p number of poles and z number of 0, then the Nyquist plot will encircle the origin n equals to p minus z number of times. So now I will be calculating how many number of encirclement about the origin. So not with respect to minus 1 plus j0, I got that n, but to get this p, I need to have this information. So instead of calculating the number of encirclement about this point, so I will be calculating with respect to origin. Okay, so if I say what is the net encirclements, so you can see here, it is cutting this contour twice. One is here, you can see it is in the clockwise directions. So I will be taking it is minus 1 as per these conventions. Again this is minus 1 because again this is clockwise. So n is equals to minus 2. If you take n is equals to minus 2, okay, now what is the meaning of this? Then p minus z is equals to minus 2. Now what is this p indicating? So you can see clearly I have written, if open loop transfer function contain p number of poles and z number of zeros. So the number of zeros of open loop transfer function is z, number of poles of transfer function of open loop transfer function is p. So what is this p? P is equal to z minus 2. Now what is this z? Z is given, that is the number of 0 of this GSHS. So 1 0. So z is nothing but equals to 1. So 1 minus 2. So you are getting p is equals to minus 1. And if p is equals to minus 1, then the number of closed loop poles z, which is coming as minus 1. So which is a contradiction. So you cannot say like we have minus 1 number of poles in the right half of S-plane in the closed loop systems. So that's meaningless. So there is something else in the questions. So by the normal approach or the normal way what we solve the questions, we are getting something unexpected. Now we should think it in other way. And I think you don't have any doubts. So these all things what I have written, if open loop transformer contain p number of 0, z number of p number of pole, z number of 0. So these all things, so by default we are taking the Nyquist contour to be right half of S-plane because our interest is the closed loop stability, and closed loop stability is related to the number of right half S-plane poles. If there are existing poles in right half plane, it is unstable. So by default the contour is right half S-plane, but the direction comes into pictures. But the point here, what somebody should be careful is, so this is a by default assumptions. So instead of clockwise, if I say I'll be taking this as anti-clockwise, then while computing, then you should take this as negative and you should take this as positive. In the questions they haven't given what direction the Nyquist contour is taken. So by default we take with clockwise, but with clockwise we are observing something like unexpected. So let us see in the anti-clockwise, because this information, if they would have given in the questions directly, would have gone to the proper one, but it is not given directly, but it is coming something else. Let's go in this way. So if you go in this way, then what's going to happen? Everything equation, everything will be same, only this counting of n will be varying. Now will there be a change on this? No, there won't be any change on this. There won't be any change on these values, because now anti-clockwise you will be counting it is -1 and clockwise you will be counting it +1, but again the net value is n equal to 0, isn't it? So here there won't be any change, right? But here there will be definitely a change. What is the change? Instead of see, it is clockwise, I should take it as +1, and this is also +1, so this will be +2. If this is +2, so what do you get? So you get this is +2, you get +2, so 1 + 2 become 3. So based on this we are getting the number of open loop poles in the right half S plane is nothing but 3. So that is the p value is 3. If p value is 3, so naturally z, which is the number of closed loop poles in the right half S plane, is 3. So that is what given one of the options, and that's the right answers. So 3 is the right answer for these questions. So this is the twist they have given, but it's a very good standard problem unless until you don't have very good conceptual clarity. So answering such kind of questions will be very, very challenging. So answer is 3 for this. This is a 2-mark question asked in GATE 2021 of electronics. This is from control subjects and from stability concept. The given question is, a unity negative feedback system that uses PI control is shown in the figure. The stability of overall system is controlled by tuning PI control parameters Kp and Ki. The maximum value of Ki that can be chosen so as to keep overall system stable, or in the worst case marginal stable, is dash. So this is the system given, and we are supposed to find what can be the maximum value of Ki so that the system will be stable. Okay, so the product of this and this transfer function is the open loop transfer function G of S. One of the approach in this kind of problem is to solve it by RH criteria, right? Because RH criteria give access to the stability based on the characteristic equations. So because it's a unity negative feedback system, closed loop unity negative feedback systems, so the characteristic equation in such cases is given by what? 1 plus G of S equals to 0. So for a unity negative feedback system, characteristic equation is 1 plus G is equal to 0. This is the denominator of the transfer function, closed loop transfer functions. So first let me get characteristic equations, and then we will be going to the RH table. So 1 plus G of S, the product of this and this. So this can be written as SKP plus Ki whole divided by S multiplied by 2 into S cube plus 4S square plus 5S plus 2, this equal to 0. So now if you simplify this, so this is S into S cube plus 4S square plus 5S plus 2 plus 2S Kp plus 2 Ki equals to 0. Right? So I have just multiplied these factors here and here. Right? Everywhere I am multiplying this, so this will be cancelled. So I am getting this factor here, and this is 0 into something is 0. So if you simplify this, S power 4 plus 4S cube plus 5S square plus 2S plus 2S Kp plus 2 Ki equals to 0. This is what you are getting. Now let us write them in proper way by coefficient of S4, S cube, S square, S and S power 0. So if you do like that by rearranging it, S power 4 is over, 4S cube is over, even we don't have any other term of S square, so it is 5S square. But for S we have these two terms, so that is 2 Kp plus 2 whole multiplied by S plus 2 Ki into S power 0 equal to 0. So this is your characteristic equations. So by taking these characteristic equations, so let us frame the RH table. So because we have highest power is S power 4, so this row is S power 4, this row is S power 3, and here it is S power 2, here it is S power 1, and here it is S power 0. So if I am asking you to write the coefficient of S power 4, this is 1, then this should be 5, and then you have 2 Ki. This is 4, and then you have 2 Kp plus 2, and then this is your 0. Now if I ask you what you will get at here, so what it would be? This into this minus this into this divided by this. So this into this is 20 minus 2 minus 2 Kp divided by 4, right? This into this minus this divided by this. What you will get here? So that is given by this into this minus this into this divided by this. So 4 into 2 Ki is 8 Ki minus 0 by 4. So that is how much? 2 Ki. So you will get 2 Ki, and this is as usual 0. Now what will you get here? So this into this minus this into this divided by this. That is 20 minus 2, I can write this as 18, okay? So you will get here 18 minus 2 Kp divided by 4, okay, into 2 Kp plus 2. This into this minus this into this, 8 Ki divided by 18 minus 2 Kp divided by 4. Is that okay? Now what will you get here? You will get here this into this, that is 0, minus this into this, again 0 by this. 0 minus 0 by something is, this is anyway 0. Now what will you get here? So this into this minus this into this divided by this, okay? So this into this, so 2 Ki into this minus 0 divided by this, so it will be only 2 Ki. So this is what the corresponding RH table for this particular problem. Okay, now what we need to find is, we need to find the maximum value of Ki such that the system will be stable. Now what is the condition of stability? So with respect to RH criteria, the condition of stability is all the elements of first column, this should be of same sign. There should not be any change in sign. Either all should be positive or all should be negative. So generally we like to work with positive numbers. So we will assume that all the elements of the first column, this should be positive. So from there we will get the condition of stability, because that's what the condition of stability, that all columns of the first, all the elements of the first column should be positive. So this is anyway positive, 1 is positive, 4 is positive. So we have condition for these 3 elements, right, in the first column. So first condition is 2 Ki is greater than 0. So we need positive, means this should be greater than 0. So from this we are getting Ki should be greater than 0. So Ki should be positive. This is one condition we got. So this is looking complicated, we will take at the end. Now what is this condition? So this condition is condition number 2, that is, what is it? 18 minus 2 Kp divided by 4, 18 minus 2 Kp divided by 4, this should be how much? Greater than 0. So if you see 18 minus 2 Kp greater than 0, 18 is greater than 2 Kp, 2 Kp is less than 18, so Kp is less than 9, right? 18 minus 2 Kp is greater than 0, or 18 is greater than 2 Kp, 2 Kp is less than 18, or Kp is less than 9. So from this we are getting one more conditions, Kp is less than 9. Okay, so we have accessed this one, we got the first conditions. We have accessed this one, we got the second conditions, and I am left with this complicated terms. Let's see how to deal with this. So the point is, we are supposed to find what is the Ki max. So Ki will be definitely positive only because we are getting the condition Ki greater than 0, right? So Ki should be more than 0, but what is that maximum value of Ki, so that this all elements will be positive? That's what we need. So if we write this one, the third conditions, that is 18 minus 2 kp divide into 2 plus 2 kp divided by 4 minus 8 ki, okay, and divided by this should be greater than 0, but even if you divide it by this one, and again if this equation will be like this only, right? If I am saying this entire thing is greater than 0, so if you make this side, so you are left with only numerator should be greater than 0. So let us see how do we handle with these situations. So let us multiply this equation with 4 in both sides. So you will get 18 minus 2 kp into 2 plus 2 kp minus 32 ki is greater than 0. I have multiplied 4 both sides. So this 4 cancel. So this is become 32 ki and this is greater than 0. Okay. So 18 into 2 is 36 plus 36 kp minus 4 kp, okay, minus 4 kp square minus 32 ki is greater than 0. 36 plus 36 kp minus 4 kp minus 4 kp square minus 32 ki is greater than 0. Okay, but what we need to have the value of ki so that the system will be stable. So ultimately this is what the condition of system stability only. So this is one condition, this is one condition, this is the third condition. So these three conditions should simultaneously satisfy so that the overall system will be stable. So there is no need of this table, I need space, I am arranging this table. Now if you see this equation is containing the terms corresponds to kp as well as ki, right? Suppose for example, if I say, so let's say in maximum power transfer theorems, you might have seen that the power of load is given by Vth square divided by, what is it, Rth plus RL whole square into RL, right? I square RL, I is Vth by, are you getting which circuit I am saying? So this is your Vth, this is your Rth, and this is your RL, right? And this is three variable. The power expression is given by current square. Current is Vth by Rth plus RL whole square. This is and RL. So when we ask you for what value of RL, this is maximum, then what is the approach you used to take? We used to do like this. So dp by drl equals to 0. So from this equation we will get, okay, what is that value of RL where it will be maximum, and then that value is to substitute. So in this one we get P max. Similarly, because in this case we are supposed to find for what value of ki, this is attending its corresponding maxima or minima, we don't know actually. So this is mathematical equations. So your approach should be to differentiate these particular equations with respect to what, so here RL is variable, right? So RL is variable, so I are differentiating with respect to RL because I are interested to find RL. Similarly, what you should do is in this case is we should try to differentiate what is dkp by di. So this is equal to 0. So from these equations you will be getting a conditions, okay, so that it will be this thing. So instead of dk by di, I think we should be doing dki by dp, right? Dki by dkp. So actually what I am trying to find is under what value of kp ki is attending the maximum value, like here under what value of RL P is attending maximum value. Okay, so our target quantity is P and the variable is RL. Similarly in this case, basically what I am trying to do in this case is I am trying to have a plot between Ki and Kp. I am trying to have a plot between Ki and Kp by taking this axis as Ki and taking this axis as Kp. So like what way I will vary Kp so that Ki will vary, okay, by keeping this condition in mind. Okay, so what to do then now? So Ki term if you see, so we are getting, okay, so 32 Ki if I bring this side is less than minus 4 Kp square minus 4 and this is plus 36 So it will be plus 32 kp plus 36. Is that correct? 32 ki is less than, so this is minus 4 kp square, this is over, and 36 minus 4, 32, and plus 36. Yes. So we are getting ki is less than minus 4 by 32. Okay, minus 4 by 32 kp square, and if we divide here 32, so this happens to be only kp plus 36 by 32. Okay, this is what you are getting, ki. So now what you do is you differentiate this ki with respect to kp. Okay, so this is actually less than, but to get the corresponding boundary value, so you should make it is equals to. So now if I try to get what is this dki by dp equal to 0, if I do like this, what you get? So dki by dkp equal to 0. So what you will get on this? So you will get, like, for what value of kp ki takes maximum value, like here for what value of RL p takes maximum value. So here we are interested to find for what value of kp ki takes maximum value. So you should do here dki by dp. dki by dp, if I differentiate this, how much you will get? So you will get, this is minus 8 by 32 kp, and here it is 1, right? You know, dkp by dkp is 1, and this is constant is 0, and we should equate it to 0. So how much will you get? Minus of, so this is okay, this you should equate it to 0 because this is the conditions. So 0 is equals to minus 1 by 4 kp plus 1. So minus 1 is equals to minus 1 by 4 kp. So this implies kp equals to 4. So we are getting the conditions kp equals to 4. That means, so if this equation is true, I mean which is of course true, if this condition or this condition to happen, okay, so what is we are trying to get is we are trying to get a plot of ki and kp, because our interest to get what is the maximum value of ki. So indirectly we are targeting these conditions only, and we are trying to plot the variation of ki and kp. That means when kp is equals to 4, okay, so at that case, so what is the value of ki if I ask you, then you can use any of these equations to get what it will be. So if you take kp equals to 4, okay, then what is the value of ki you will get? So I think it will be coming 9. So you can substitute here. So if you make kp equals to 4, the value of ki, how much is it coming? Here you can substitute. So ki is equals to minus 4 by 32 into 16, kp square is 16, plus kp is 4, plus 36 by 32, so 9 by 8, right? So this is happening to be minus 2 plus 4 plus 9 by 8, so that is 2 plus 9 by 8. So 2 plus 9 by 8, it will be 3.125. So this is the value of ki max. When ki takes 3.125, system is stable. If you are going beyond it, it will be unstable. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay, I strongly believe there is no doubt on first and second. Up to this everyone will do. So from third point onwards, so maths come into picture. So if you are good in calculus, so these all things what I am explaining you, you are definitely getting what I am telling. So we need this condition to be satisfied, okay, for stability. So by targeting this, we are finding out, because here this is not a single variable equation the way we get it, right? So we have two variable involved, ki and kp. So if we have two variable involved, ki and kp, now what way this kp and ki are varying so that this condition being satisfied, right? So what way this kp and ki are varying so that this condition is satisfied. That's what we need for stability. So what we are trying to get is, because I need to have the ki, so I am saying here, now what way I should vary kp so that ki will be maximum. So I have used the concept of maxima minima, and the corresponding critical point is that kp equals to 4. When kp equals to 4, okay, then this function will take its maximum value. When kp equals to 4, this function will take its maximum value. In other words, if I am saying this point kp equals to 4, so this is, you will get 3.125, okay. In other words, if you are varying anything to the left of 4 and right of 4, so this quantity will be definitely less than 3.125. That's what I am trying to say. One thing is very much clear, kp value is less than 9, okay. So from this condition, so if I say this is kp, so kp value is less than 9. So if kp is less than 9, so kp can take value between 0 to 9, right? So if Kp is less than 9, Kp can take value between 0 to 9. So if it is taking between 0 to 9, then obviously then we are finding at what values, okay? So the Ki will take maximum one. So for that we are differentiating the Ki with respect to Kp, like the way for what value of RL P takes maximum value, similarly for what value of Kp, Ki takes maximum value. So we are getting that value Kp to be 4. When Kp equals to 4, so Ki will take maximum value, and that is what indirectly implying these conditions. Okay, so we got Kp equals to 4, and if you are substituting in the expression of Ki, we are getting the answer to be 3.125, and that's the right answer for these questions. Yes, it's a lengthy questions, they're conceptual questions, and very less people might have attended these questions. So the answer is 3.125 for this.